Hello, my name is Kim, and in this reading we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to this month of March of 2026. So at the start of every reading, I will be sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on when connecting with the energy of your selected group. And then I will move on to the first set of cards, which will give us an overview of the month as well as information about the main themes and lessons of this month. Then I will work with an oracle deck to find out two things. First, what it is that you can look forward to this month, and second, what you're being advised to look out for. And to wrap up your reading, I will be drawing out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance that hopefully will be of assistance to you this month of March. Okay, let us now take a closer look at the options. So there are three different groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is Starry Night. Representing group 2 is Havana Night. Representing group 3 is Spring Night. Please take a moment to meditate on the options, and whichever you are drawn to the most, then that will be the group that has the messages you are meant to hear at this moment. And once you have selected, please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below to find the timestamp that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group. Okay, and if you are ready, then let us get started. Let's go. Hello, if you were drawn to group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, the word picture and the name Winchester came to mind. Now, the word picture made me think of photographs, which then made me think of taking a photograph to commemorate a very special event or day or evening. So this month of March, you may be attending an event, celebrating an achievement, whether it be yours or that of another, and taking a picture to remember the day. Or you may be going on a nice outing and taking several pictures then. It may also be that this month, some of you will be quite interested in photography, or you will be taking quite a few pictures. All this talk of pictures reminded me of the song Pictures of You by The Cure, so that song could be of significance. Oh, if you are attending a concert or maybe a music festival or some kind of performance in the month of March, and you're planning to take pictures, you will get a picture with your maybe favorite artist or with the or a performer of the evening or night. I keep thinking of evening, an evening ceremony, an evening event, gathering, or leisurely activities during the evening. So there may be a lot of unwinding as the sun is setting, or during this month, the evening will become your favorite time of the day. It might be when you will have the most time to yourself to relax, or it might be when you get the opportunity to spend quality time with loved ones. Now, apart from all of this, the name Winchester came through as well, which I believe is the name of a city in England. So England or the city Winchester could be of significance. Maybe some of you will be picking up a novel which story is set in England. That just came out of the blue. Ooh, maybe some of you are writers. You're either from England or you're writing about a specific place in England. But I also do want to point out that the letter W could be of significance because it really did stand out when meditating on the energy of this group. Okay, but now I'm going to begin your reading. So the first cards I will be drawing out will give us an overview of the month, as well as a look at the main lessons and our themes of this March. And we have the 10th house with Mars in Capricorn and the key term authority. And now I'm going to draw out the rest of the cards. And we have 69 with secrets and unseen. And the message, there's a secret someone or a situation is keeping or will be tempted to keep. Try and open Pandora's box if you can. Quite intriguing. The number 69 is really standing out to me because it's reminding me of the zodiac sign Cancer. So Cancer season, or the zodiac sign Cancer, may be of significance, as well as Capricorn. Ooh, which are sister signs, I believe. So siblings could be playing a significant role in your life this month, if you have any siblings, or friends who are like siblings to you. We also have 9 of clubs with number 26, the park. The park made me think of leisure, relaxation. It also made me think of evenings, taking a stroll in the park during the evening or early morning. I sense you will be stumbling upon someone familiar, someone you haven't seen in a while, maybe an old schoolmate, colleague, peer, or friend. Okay, and we have the 7 of Wands. Okay, so this month or at some point in the month of March, things might be getting pretty busy and or hectic. There could be a lot of different people who will be, I heard, pulling at your energy or simply requesting of your time or your assistance. And because of how hectic and or busy things will end up becoming for you, you will be prioritizing possibly even more either time alone or time for yourself, time to relax, to rest, to unwind. Because I do see this yearning, this longing for either me time or for leisure, for relaxation, for calm. So I do sense that there will be points or a specific point within the day, or maybe within a week, like a specific day in the week, that you will set aside for you, or that you will have for only yourself to do with it whatever it is that you want. And this moment in time will be precious to you. It will be your precious. I'm referencing Gollum here. And it might end up even being your little secret, right? The thing that you treasure the most during this month of March. So one thing I'm seeing is you are making sure that what is yours, right? What is your time? What is your moment? Nothing and no one touches it. No one messes with it. I see something about scheduling everything around that day, around that time of the day, because that moment in time is sacred. It cannot be touched. Or maybe that's the advice for some of you. If you do find yourself being very busy, or you already know or very aware that you are a very busy person, to make time, make space for you, create a sacred time, maybe even a sacred ritual is what I heard, to invest in you or to relax, unwind, regroup, or enjoy yourself. Now, because we do have the 10th house showing up in your spread, you may find yourself focusing on or prioritizing career, work, your profession, or responsibilities, tasks, obligations. I just thought of the expression career ladder. So a lot of you could be dedicating a lot of time to making progress in your career, your line of work, your profession. Others of you may be placing a lot of attention on improving your social standing. The 10th house can also pertain to one's public image. So there is something here about you possibly paying mind to your reputation or actively working on building a good reputation or maintaining a good reputation. It could be at work or at school or maybe within a social circle. It could also be within a field or an industry. Because we do have this energy of authority, some of you may actually be working on establishing some kind of authority. The example that is coming to mind, and please remember this is just an example to help illustrate the energy here, is of a teacher, right, who does want to assert some level of authority to distinguish themselves from their students, to establish that line between teacher and student. Right, the word respectability is coming to mind. So some of you may be putting in effort to become a respectable figure or to gain maybe respect from possibly colleagues, or it could be clients, customers, or what else could be happening is some of you are kind of developing an aura of professionalism, as in, hey, I came here to work, I mean business, and I'm not joking when I say, let's get to working. So there is a bit of seriousness that I'm picking up here, but I definitely do see an asserting of professional boundaries of sorts occurring at some point this month. And it could very well be that a lot of you will be given some kind of authority. It could be at work, it could be at school, it could even be at home or in a living space, maybe even within a friend group or a social circle. Now that I look at secrets, someone might be confiding a secret to you, and this person confiding this secret to you, or you having been confided this secret, it's a huge statement in and of itself, because it states you are either different from the rest, maybe to that person who confided in you, you're different from the rest, you are someone who they can trust enough to share this secret with. It's almost coming through as it being a rite of passage. It lets you know that you're in the club now, you're part of the inner circle now, because you know this, because this is being confided to you. And so if it's not necessarily a secret that has to do with someone's personal affairs, this could be something like you are given important information, confidential information about like a project that is still in the works. Now I'm thinking of a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. So some of you may be offered a job or some kind of work opportunity or collaborative creative opportunity that does require for you to sign some kind of NDA. Something else I'm seeing with the card secrets is a password or access, you being given access to an account. Someone may be giving you the password to a streaming service account of theirs, as an example. Or an employer may be giving you access to a portal, for example, that only those who are of high rank get access to, or only those who are now full-time employees at a company get access to, right? So, which leads me to believe that this month, a lot of you will be moved up, right? Moved up the corporate ladder, right? You may be elevated to a position of authority, as mentioned before. And that is giving you access to confidential information or exclusive information. But I definitely feel that a lot of you will be entrusted something during this month. And if it's not you who is being entrusted something of importance, like a project, an account, or password, a secret, confidential information, or a role, a responsibility, then it could be you who will be entrusting this to somebody else. Some of you might actually be receiving a literal key, like a key to a physical location, and that in itself screams trust. Like, hey, I'm giving you this key. Now I thought of like the key to the cashier register, because I trust you, or because now you are responsible for that specific thing. You are now responsible of the cashier register, right? And those are all just examples, right? But there is definitely something here about either entrusting something of importance, of great matter to another, or you being entrusted something of great importance or matter. And this will be proof, that's how it's coming through, as proof that you do play a significant role, or that you are now considered an important member of a society, member of a club, member of a team, or you have gained maybe the respect or the trust of someone or others. This may also be tangible proof of your authority now. I thought all of a sudden of a baptism. So you may be attending or be invited to a baptism or a bar mitzvah, or a communion is also what I heard at some point during this month of March. I also thought of a baby shower or a gender reveal party. So again, you may be invited to one of those, or someone that you know might be throwing one of those parties. And if it's not someone else, it could definitely be you who is maybe celebrating the birth of a newborn, or is announcing the arrival of a new member into the family, something along those lines. There may also be a wedding this month, or you may be hearing that someone that you know or know of recently got married or engaged. Now, I know it took a while to talk about entrusting something of great importance to another, yet I do want to point out that during this month, discreetness on your part is advised, because although I do see there being at least one person who you can trust or entrust something of great importance to, I also do see you being surrounded by people who are not that trustworthy, or who you might want to just be more careful around them when it comes to information, when it comes to your personal information and your personal affairs. Yeah, just for this month, I don't know why, but just for this month, refrain from oversharing or sharing with just about anyone your plans, your future plans, or what it is that you're working on. And once again, you are being advised to be a little bit more discreet, or just mindful of what it is that you are sharing. Because there could be one or more people who might be prying a bit this month, or who are not very discreet themselves. And so let's say if you share something confidential with them and you ask for them to, keep it on the down low, keep it a secret, they might assure you in the moment that yes, definitely they will keep this a secret, but then later on you catch them divulging exactly what you confided in them. Yeah, so if you know of anybody who tends to have a loose tongue, maybe refrain from sharing anything personal or of great importance with that specific person or those specific individuals during this month. Because although they might promise and swear they won't reveal anything, I feel like they might end up slipping, or they will end up slipping and saying something. Now, something else that I'm seeing is an advice to again, just for this month, keep your plans to yourself. Anything you're thinking about developing, or anything that you are working on the down low, or any ideas that you have for like future projects or endeavors, or for goals that you want to achieve at some point, refrain from sharing them. And the reason why you're being advised to do so is because sometimes when we talk about what we're going to do before we do it, that tricks the mind into believing we already did the thing, and it ends up discouraging it from actually then putting in effort, or kind of driving us to put in effort to start executing those plans or working on those ideas to make them a tangible thing. And so, in other words, we never end up doing the thing we said we were going to do. So if that has happened to you in the past, I feel like that is one of the reasons why you're being advised to, this time around, refrain from talking about what you're going to do before you actually start doing it. And see how that goes. See what happens if instead you choose to start working on the thing first, and then maybe let your actions speak for themselves, or let the results, the outcomes speak for themselves. Show others what you have been up to. Another advice that came through was, if there is something in the works but it has yet to be completed, maybe refrain from sharing what it is that you are working on, or like revealing it until it has been completed. Or if you have, let's say, an idea, refrain from sharing it or announcing it more, like making announcements in regards to it, until it's made concrete or until it's set in motion. I'm not sure why you're being advised this, but it seems to be of great importance, because it will make a difference in how this develops and or unfolds for you. And because we have this Seven of Wands energy, it could be the case that, if you announce something ahead of time or ahead of schedule, is what came through, there could end up being a lot of interference, or a lot of people might end up getting unnecessarily involved in the development of this. Or it could be a situation where maybe you share an idea or you share a plan with like a group of people, and then all of them start giving you their 2 cents about if this idea is a good idea or not, and you just end up being the target of projections and negativity maybe, or self-limited thinking coming from others. Yeah, so that could be the reason why you're being suggested some discreetness and even selectivity as to who you share what with and when you share certain information as well. Now, I do see something about scheduling things accordingly. You could be looking at your calendar, your schedule, your agenda quite a bit, and moving things around in your calendar, because I do see either a lot of appointments or there being a lot of scheduling getting done at some point during the month of March. The secrets card all of a sudden made me think of booking. So you may be booking a lot of sessions, appointments, or a lot of people, like clients, customers, could be booking a lot of sessions and appointments with you at a certain time within the month of March. Yeah, because I feel like there's going to be a specific time within the month of March that things are going to get pretty busy. Yeah, and so with the Seven of Wands, you could be needing to prioritize at some point in order to keep things moderate, in order to not stretch yourself thin. Or that is the advice this month. Keep an agenda and schedule accordingly ahead of time if you can, and be practical about how you schedule things, right? Keep in mind that you also need break time, that you also need time to to go to the restroom, or to eat your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, or to eat a snack in between sessions. Keep in mind that things might come up at the last minute, or that maybe a meeting that was scheduled to be 30 minutes long could end up turning into a 40-minute meeting, right? So in other words, time management. This month, you might be learning a little bit about how to better manage time whilst taking into account the unexpected. Like traffic, for example. You plan to get somewhere in 30 minutes time, but you also have to account for the possibility of traffic, which might end up making a trip a little longer than anticipated. So just those things you're being advised to just keep in mind this month, so that you won't end up trying to compensate or struggling with a super packed schedule or burning yourself out. And because I do see a lot of you wanting to make time for certain things, prioritizing certain things, it's very likely that this month you could be canceling certain appointments. You could be deprioritizing, is that a word? Certain tasks or maybe appointments or events to make space or room for other things, or to focus or give your full attention to other things that you are this month making a priority. So you could be releasing or relieving yourself of certain obligations. Maybe you're delegating certain responsibilities to others who are assisting you or can assist you, so that you can have more time for what you know to be a priority this month. Yeah, or that could also be an advice for some of you, because I feel like the heads up for this month is don't spread yourself too thin. Don't bite more than you can chew. Be realistic, be practical, and keep things as moderate as you can, because otherwise you might end up struggling a bit. And I already said something about you being given a position of authority, and I still feel this to be the case, but I do want to point out that some of you will definitely be put in charge. Maybe for a short period, but I do see you being put in charge. And the reason why I want to assure some of you that this is a short period is because I feel like some of you might not be very pleased or excited about being placed in charge. So if that happens to be you, if you don't like to be at the forefront of things, if you don't like to lead, instruct, and so forth, then you being placed in charge will definitely be a temporary thing. Yeah, but for others of you, especially for those of you who have been working towards that kind of position of being placed in charge, this could be a sort of a trial, like a test run, either literally, or that's how you could see it as, like an opportunity for you to see whether this is something that you like, whether this is something that you want to strive for or continue striving for. Or yeah, for others of you, this could be someone giving you a chance at this role to see how you do. And if that ends up being the case, I feel like whoever is in a way testing you or evaluating you, if that ends up being your literal situation, they will be happy with the results. They will be pleased with your efforts or with how you handled this role, this position given to you. Yeah, they will see great potential in you as a leader, as the head of a department, of a team, as a manager, supervisor, something along those lines. And I feel this is already the case. I feel like for a lot of you, if you do work under somebody, whoever you work under or work for, or like, they do see great potential in you. They are considering you for like a higher position. They are considering you for a more important role or position is what is coming through. They have their eye on you. And I keep referencing like a work situation, but this could also be true in a club setting, like a social circle kind of setting. I thought of like an assembly. Yeah, so if you are part of a club, there could be someone who is considering you to be next in line for the presidency of the club, something along those lines. There could even be someone who is already considering hiring you. If right now you're maybe looking for employment, or like, let's say you're still a student who is going to internships, that sort of thing. I feel like there's someone of authority, an employer who is already considering offering you employment, offering you a position, like a part-time or maybe even a full-time position somewhere. Yeah, because there's this feeling of like you beating the competition, but it's still secret. Like, even though you're in the candidates list, you haven't, and maybe you won't be made aware that you are on this list or that you are being considered for like this role, this position for full-time employment, let's say, until later on. I feel like this is still being kept on the down low for some reason or other. Yeah, maybe some things are still to be determined, but you are definitely on some kind of list of candidates, potential candidates. Yeah, but it might be hinted to you this month by someone trustworthy. a reliable source that you are being considered for a role, for a position, or that someone is thinking of hiring you, or someone is thinking of you, or someone is wanting to work with you, collaborate with you, etc. If you have been undergoing some kind of application process, if this is a situation where, like you're applying somewhere and to complete the application process, you need to go through like several interviews and you've so far have only been interviewed once, then I do see you being called for the second interview. Yeah, there's this feeling of you moving up ahead or you moving ahead. And again, I'm thinking of the expression beating the competition. Beating the competition. At some point this month, you might need to speak up for yourself or just advocate for your ideas. Yeah, because I do see a situation where there could be a lot of opposition at some point, or there could just be a lot of people who will maybe question whether or not your idea is good, or who could question you or maybe even question your authority. And that's when you will need to kind of stand your ground or fight your corners, that the expression, or advocate for yourself. Yeah, because a lot of the people who might be in a way opposing you or who might be questioning could be people who don't have experience or who are not very reliable themselves or whose opinions are based off of unreliable sources or speculations, assumptions, something along those lines. Yeah, so trust in you. And I feel like this month you will definitely be trusting in yourself. There's this feeling of you handling your responsibilities very well and professionally, and you being quite the professional this month. So maintain your poise and trust in you, trust in your judgment, trust in your discernment. This doesn't mean become inflexible. It is always good to listen to and consider sound advice, but you might need to be a little headstrong at times to defend your own cause or defend your case. Okay, but now I want to look at first what is something that you can look forward to this month, and then I will pull out cards to find out about what you're being advised to look out for. Okay, so let's see what it is that you can look forward to this month. So we have hush up with silence, discretion, contemplation, equanimity, consideration, and privacy. Yeah, so the message of discretion, being discreet, has come up once more in the what to look forward to. So, okay, if you do end up entrusting something to another, know that things will go well. Like this person will do well with what you entrusted to them. Or if you end up confiding in someone, they will keep your secret, right? They will be discreet. So whoever you're selecting to trust in, right? Whoever you are choosing as a confidant, they will be reliable, they will be discreet, they will be maybe loyal, or again, trustworthy. So that's something to look forward to, maybe having someone that you can trust, confide in, or the fact that you can trust in your own judgment to discern between a friend and a foe, or a person with discretion from a person who lacks a bit of it. Yeah, this also makes me think of you now being able to get something off of your chest, you now being able to talk about something that is very personal and private, and that allowing you some reprieve, that allowing you some comfort or maybe peace of mind, because now you can let this out, right? Now you can just release it from the grips of your conscience. Also, for those of you who maybe enjoy secrets, something to look forward to is a really good secret. Or if there's a specific secret, specific information, or even maybe gossip that you've been wanting to hear or get in on, then that you will be getting in on this at some point this month of March. But this also makes me think of you becoming part of something exclusive, like an exclusive club, or again, you getting access. So if you have been wanting access to something, um, and you have requested for it, you're getting access to it at some point this month of March. And if you have been worried about confidentiality, if you have been worried about privacy, maybe online or with tech, is what came through. Or maybe this is just in general, like literally, maybe some of you have been wanting privacy in your day-to-day. You have been wanting, as mentioned before, time for you, where no one bugs you or no one knows where you are. You will have that privacy, whether it be like in your day-to-day or whether it be in regards to you wanting reassurance that your personal information is safe. In regards to, like technology, then know that everything is safe and it is secure. It is protected. Okay? No one is getting through the firewall. That's what I heard. No one is getting through, getting access to anything that you're not giving access to. Okay, but now I want to draw out a card to find out what is something to look out for this month. I just heard your secret is safe with me. Your secret is safe with me. And we have stomping grounds with origin, nostalgia, memories, tradition, tribute, visit, past connection. All of a sudden, I thought of someone forgetting a secret. So if some of you have recently been worrying about whether someone remembers something that you told them long ago, the answer to your question is no. They've already forgotten. Yeah, so your secret is safe in the loss of recollection or the lack of recollection on someone's part. But we have stomping grounds with 39, and the key terms: origin, nostalgia, memories, tradition, tribute, visit, and past connection. Yeah, and then we have number one, when life gives you lemons, and the key phrase is make lemonade, optimism, perseverance, opportunity, creativity, and genius. Yeah, so I did mention at the beginning that this month it's very likely you will be coming across with or stumbling upon someone of the past, like an old chum, a schoolmate, a classmate. Yeah, and this stomping grounds I feel is confirming that message. We do have past connection here. So someone of your past will be making a reappearance in your life this month. And with when life gives you lemons, for some, this person who is making a reappearance in your life could be someone who maybe you wanted to see again. Maybe you have been trying to manifest a reunion with them. And so you coming across them could be a wish come true, but it could also be an opportunity to reestablish a connection with him if that is what you have been wanting, if that's the reason why you have been, let's say, trying to, as an example, manifest a reunion with this person. Yeah, because this when life gives you lemons card makes me think of a second opportunity. So some of you could be getting a second opportunity to not only reconnect, but also reestablish a connection with someone, get reacquainted with someone of the past, or to form a new bond with someone of the past. I'm thinking of an expression, but it's not coming to mind accurately. Oh, yes. Okay. It's started on the wrong foot. So, yeah, if you feel like you started on the wrong foot with someone, then at some point this month you will get an opportunity to have a do-over. And I keep referring to someone of the past, like someone of your childhood, someone of your pre-adulthood years, or someone who you interacted maybe years ago. But now that I sit with this energy a little bit longer, this could also be you bumping into someone who you recently met, like maybe who you met at the start of the month of March, or you met at the start of this year 2026, or maybe at some point in the year 2025, not so long ago, in other words. And maybe your first encounter wasn't that great, right? You started on the wrong foot, or maybe you didn't get an opportunity to really talk with this person because there was a lot of interference, or things got cut too short because of whatever reason. And if you were feeling pretty bummed out about that, or you again were wanting a second opportunity to to maybe give a better first impression, or to have a longer chat with this person, or again start on the right foot this time around, then you are being given that opportunity. Or someone is, right? Maybe someone who connected with you, who felt like things didn't go that well, or someone who felt like their first encounter with you was cut too short, could have been manifesting or wanting another chance to do things right this time around, or to do things a little bit better, and they're getting it. Someone here is getting that second chance and or opportunity. But of course it takes two to tango, right? So it will very much what the response of the other party is, right? So as an example, if someone has been manifesting a reunion with you, but you're not very interested in reuniting with that person or reestablishing a relationship or connection with that person, then nothing will proceed with that person, right? Because your free will is also important and it will be respected. And if you don't want for something to continue, it won't continue. And it could also be said the other way around. Yeah, and with creativity, if you have collaborated with someone in the past, if you have worked with someone on a creative project, creative endeavor, or there was someone who you found to be very creative, very insightful, that you brainstormed with, or that you briefly worked with in some kind of way, it seems like this month you will get an opportunity to work with them again, or to interact with them, maybe brainstorm with them, maybe pick at their brain a little bit, or receive inspiration from them, counsel, advice. So yeah, this could be like a mentor, apprentice, teacher student situation, you reconnecting with a mentor or a teacher or a counselor who helped you in the past. Or if it's not you reconnecting, then this could be something like you connecting with a mentor, with someone who will be offering you amazing advice or counsel, or who will be maybe providing you with some inspiration, perhaps. But I definitely do see a situation where this month, a lot of you will get an opportunity to work again with someone who you worked with in the past and you enjoyed working with or studying with, because now I thought of study buddies. Okay, but I looked at the word origin in the Stomping Grounds card, and I thought of an origin story. Some of you could be, if you currently live far away from home, you may be visiting your hometown, or your or you could be going back to your home country, or someone who is from your hometown could be stopping by where you live, or could be dropping by. I also thought of writing. Some of you could be literally writing an origin story, or like an original written work, like your own written work. I thought of an autobiography. Some of you could be writing an autobiography, or you could be helping someone write an autobiography this month, maybe revise it. Maybe that's what some of you are confiding in another, like a manuscript, a first draft. But now I thought of Anne of Green Gables, the character Anne Shirley, how her first novel, because she wanted to be a writer, and her first novel was actually inspired by her life, the place that she grew up in. Yeah, so some of you could be writing or creating a piece of work that is inspired by your day-to-day, or maybe by a specific life event, or by your home country, by your culture, your community, or your lineage, your family tree. And this doesn't only have to be like a written work. It could be like a piece of art. It could be a project maybe that you're developing. And if so, it seems like this month you're getting more information. As an example, let's say you're writing a piece of fiction inspired by a real place in the world, then this month you're getting more information, or very important information, about that specific location or place that will be helping you further develop your story. or make it the more richer, something along those lines. Again, that was just an example, to give you an idea of how this may apply in a specific situation. Okay, but now I'm just going to draw out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance for you guys. Oh, I did mention something about siblings. So if you haven't seen a family member in a while, like if you haven't had the opportunity to maybe catch up with a sibling or a family member, or there has been some like distance, not only physical but also maybe emotional distance between you and a family member, like, or a sibling in specific, this month it seems like there will be an opportunity to like reconnect with this sibling, with this family member, maybe share past memories, share memories of your childhood together, or talk things out, right? If you haven't really talked things out with this family member, with this sibling. Yep, there's something here about like revisiting the past by recounting memories. And yeah, there could be some bonding through that as you're doing that with another, or there could even be healing through that as you're recounting your personal experiences, as you're recounting an experience from your point of view. A lot of clearing of the air could happen through that. Because oftentimes we believe that what we experience or how we experience an event is how others experience it as well, but no, that's never true. We are so different from each other, even though we're so alike in many ways, but we're so different in that how we perceive a situation differs on so many ways, and how we experience an event also differs on so many ways. Something that might have been shocking to me, for example, could end up not being shocking for somebody else. Yeah, so don't be afraid to, if you get an opportunity to open up to someone who in the past you weren't able to open up to, don't be afraid to do so, and to share your experiences with them, because I feel like that form of vulnerability could actually allow for healing in a relationship if a relationship is a bit strained, or it could allow for some understanding between you and another who maybe you felt you were always at odds with. But I see with the life gives you lemons, like if this is about a reconciliation, like mending a relationship with maybe a family member, which is someone, it could take some time, right? Building a bond or rebuilding a bond can take some time. So if you're willing to be patient, and not only you, but the other party, right? If you're both willing to be patient with each other and take your times to get to know each other once more, to establish a healthy bond this time around, then it's very possible. It's very possible to establish that healthy bond. Yeah, because I also see the situation where someone's perception of another is falling away, right? Because also how we perceive someone shapes how we feel about that person. And sometimes our perception could be misguided, or could be a construct of feelings that we haven't addressed, like grudges or resentment or misunderstandings, misconceptions, misjudgment even. So I do see a situation for some where this month you're getting together with someone who you had a certain perception of, and this time around that perception you have of that person is falling away because you're getting reacquainted with that person, resulting in you seeing them in a new light. And I feel this to be like a mutual situation. Okay, but let me see. And we have inspiration or indifference with Aquarius, and emotion, and the key phrase, a figure levitates above a mountaintop. And the message, when you feel inspired, it is as if you are lifted on air. Inspiration can carry you far, but being lifted above can also symbolize a type of detachment, indifference, or apathy. You may need a new jolt of inspiration to shift your emotions. Interesting. The illustration in the inspiration or indifference card made me think of something unattainable. There could come a point this month where it might be very difficult for certain people to get a hold of you, to reach you, either, again, because you might find yourself being pretty busy, pretty booked, or the other situation that is coming through is there may be a lot of people who could end up hesitating reaching out to you in a less formal way, maybe, or just reaching out to you in general because of your position, of your role. Maybe there will be people who might question or wonder whether it's okay to reach out to you, you being the president, right, or the CEO of a company. That's just an example, right? So I'm sensing a little like wariness from certain people, or there being some intimidation. Not that you are purposefully intimidating others, but that others might find you a little bit intimidated, again, because of the level of authority that you have, or because of your position, because of your role, or because of your line of work or profession is also what is coming through. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of someone putting another on a pedestal. I always advise to never do that. Never put another person on a pedestal. It's not healthy. I don't think it is. And it might be very uncomfortable for the other person who's being placed on a pedestal, because that's placing too much expectations on a person that is also learning things and working through stuff and, figuring things out themselves. So yeah, if there's someone that you admire or look up to, that's fine, that's great. But there is a difference between admiring someone and putting them on some kind of pedestal. And let's see, I'm also seeing there being a bit of a lack of grounding at some point. It could be when you're the most busy, when there's a lot going on. So if you ever feel yourself getting lost in your head, or you ever feel yourself being out of sorts, maybe being pulled in different directions, if you can, when you can, take some time for yourself to ground, right? If you know of any grounding meditations, then try some of those to see if they help. But anything that helps you be present or become more present, like focusing on smells and textures, and maybe pointing out certain things in a room, or just maybe having some alone time, being out in nature, taking a walk around the block or through a park, spending time with animals or animal companions, whatever helps you feel a little bit more present, more real, more tangible, and whatever helps to remind you that it's okay to be you. You're human and you can accept your humanness, and that it's okay to be figuring things out, because you don't have to have everything or anything figured out right now. Yeah, this is also making me think of someone who might be getting a little overly excited, and because of that, they might be taking on way too much. And this card is kind of calling them to like take a step back. Like, it's okay to want to tackle the world, but remember that you don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to do it all on your own. You can take it one step at a time, and you can also divide your work into steps, into parts, into segments. And you can also ask for help and or assistance whenever it is offered, whenever you can, whenever it's the wisest to do so. Okay? Yeah, so I'm sensing a little bit of possibly needing to exercise practicality as well as level-headedness to prevent maybe burnout or restlessness or unnecessary pressure. Okay? But let's see, these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Anything I want to point out? The color pink and green, that color combination could be of significance. Also, the color yellow is really standing out to me. Blue as well. And let's see, the number 26, the number 69, 34, 10, 39, and 1 could be of significance. I wonder if some of you are in your late 20s or if you are in your 30s. Just mentioning it because it just popped up in my head. But you don't have to be within those age ranges for these messages to apply to you. The number 1 could be of significance. You might be a life path number 1, born in the month of January. I'm also seeing October and the month of June. Let's see, parks or recreational parks could be of significance. Some of you could be like going hiking or like exploring that. Hiking in nature, looking into hiking trails, bike trails maybe. Oh, I just thought of someone using their bike for the first time in a long while. Yeah, so if you haven't gone on a bike ride in a long while, there will be an opportunity to do so at some point this month. Yeah, there's something here about light exercising. Consider light exercises. Nothing too sweaty, nothing too heavy. Just something that will get like your blood pumping a bit, circulating, and maybe even help with clearing your mind a bit. Or releasing the tensions of the day or the previous day or the week. I just heard it's no secret that you're quite good at this. So this month you will be receiving reassurance, confirmation, or validation that you're good at what you do, you're good at your job, or that you do have great potential in something. Great skills, great talents, or that you can, if you wanted to, improve upon your skills to turn them into talents. So you might be receiving positive feedback or one or more compliments about your capabilities, about your skills, or even your knowledge, or your ability to handle certain matters, certain situations. Okay, I just looked at the hush up card and what I heard was like, okay, that's enough talking. Let's end the reading. Okay, so this is all that I'm seeing here for you guys. Oh, just one more thing I want to mention. Keys could be of significance. Something about keys. If you haven't done so already, make sure to make a copy of that one key that you only have one copy of. Make sure to make a copy of it. Have an extra copy. Okay, but that's all for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're interested in a personal reading, all the information for that is provided in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of March of 2026. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, the expression standing ovation and the words preparatory and wishing well came to mind. So the expression standing ovation makes me think of achievements, recognition, accomplishment, and acknowledgement. So this month you may be celebrated for an achievement, accomplishment, milestone, or even breakthrough of yours, or your hard work, efforts, dedication will be recognized and or appreciated, or your work, a work of yours, will be receiving positive recognition. Some of you may be getting certified or receiving a license, if not a degree or a diploma this month, or you will be moving on to the next level of some kind of preparation, training, or mastery skill. If it's not that you're moving on to the next level, then this is the month in which you may be receiving some kind of preparation, like commencing a training or probation period, for example, or resuming classes is what I heard. For those of you who are students who are pursuing higher education, if you have recently applied to schools or to school programs, it seems like this month you will be receiving news that you have been accepted to one or more school or school programs, or that you are eligible to enroll in certain courses or even schools, institutions. But I definitely see a lot of you receiving good news in terms to studies, learning, higher education, or classes, courses, training, mentorship, apprenticeship, that sort of thing. Some of you may be offered to be trained on something for free, or someone may offer to pay for your classes or pay for your training. If it's not that someone is offering to pay these expenses, it could be that you are winning or you are earning some kind of scholarship, or maybe a free pass, like a free entry or free ride to a private lesson or class, course, something along those lines. I do see you receiving financial aid. That is if you choose to apply. You will be eligible for it, is what I heard. Okay, but Now let me move on to the cards. Oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about the wishing well. So some of you may be celebrating your solar return, your birthday this month of March, or you could be celebrating the solar return of a loved one or a colleague. Some of you may be finding out that someone was born on this month, like maybe a colleague or a peer. I don't know why that came through, but it seems to be of importance. Maybe that's going to be a shocker for some of you. But what else? Wishing well does make me think of wish fulfillment. So if by any chance you've ever made a wish on a wishing well, or you, let's say, wished upon a star, or the last time you blew out your birthday candles, you made a wish, it seems like that specific wish is the one that is coming true this month, or it's the wish that in this month you're receiving news or being notified that it will soon come true. There's something about you receiving something in parts, like something manifesting in parts, in sections, in pieces, or you receiving a big blessing in parts or many blessings consecutively. So if it's not that something in its entirety is manifesting for you or coming true for you within this month, then it could be that a part of it is coming true at some point in the month of March, right? Because now I'm thinking of a set or of like a bundle, and how this month you're receiving the first piece in a set, and maybe the coming month you will receive the rest of the set or the rest of the pieces in a set, but you will have the whole set eventually. But it's coming in parts. So that could be the case for some of you, but let me see. Also, there's something about money coming in, you receiving a return of your investment, or your financial situation or circumstance improving this month, getting better. Some of you may be or will be receiving unexpected money, money you weren't planning for or necessarily anticipating. So you might be receiving a little extra. If you accept tips or you start accepting tips this month, you will be receiving extra in tips. Or what else is coming through is you will be earning more than previously. So if you earn commissions, you will be earning more through your commissions this month than you previously have had in other months. Or there will be a little extra something like a bonus. You're receiving a bonus at work, or it could even be that some of you will be given a raise in your salary, or again, a little extra something. But if it's not via work, a line of work, it could be through maybe financial aid, or it could be a gift. Maybe someone is gifting you money, like a gift card, for example. Or as mentioned before, this could be you receiving a little extra through a return of an investment, or if you've lent money to somebody in the past, it's in this month that they will be paying you back. There's like different scenarios, but one thing is for sure, you will be receiving a little extra. Maybe some of you will be finding money on the floor or finding money in your own belongings that you didn't know you had, or that you didn't know you set aside or you saved. But we have the 9th house with Sun and Sagittarius. Yeah, with the Sun energy here, some of you may definitely be celebrating a solar return this month, or there could be some kind of celebration. If it's not a birthday celebration, then it could be, as mentioned before, celebrating an achievement, an accomplishment, or the word ceremony came to mind. So you may be attending a ceremony. I thought of like a graduation. I'm not sure if there's any school graduations occurring in the month of March, but there could be like a private graduation or an inauguration. But the ninth house is the house of higher education. It's the house of foreign lands, foreign languages, and overseas traveling. So yeah, it seems like a lot of you will be celebrating some kind of milestone, accomplishment in your studies, academics, higher education, or in something you have taking it upon yourself to excel at or learn or improve upon. Okay, and we have the 4 of diamonds, number 27, the dog. With the dog here, which makes me think of cheerfulness, joy. This month, you may find yourself being very enthusiastic about your studies, your education, or you may be enthusiastically learning more about a specific topic or subject or learning something new. Or you may find yourself being quite excited about practicing a craft, a skill. Right? And if you do find yourself, let's say, training, practicing, studying, learning, you will be pretty happy with the progress that you are making and or seeing. Because I also see excitement for seeing progress, improvement, or experiencing betterment. Because what I heard in my mind, or what I pictured in my mind, is someone kind of jumping up and down, clapping, while they are exclaiming, yay, I get it, or I understand it, I'm getting the hang of it, I'm doing well, I've got it. Yeah, so if you've been struggling with a topic or a subject, this is the month in which you will find yourself struggling less or getting the hang of it. Maybe even feeling or being more comfortable with it. But we also have communication with 63 and messages and gifts with new means of communication is necessary, whether online communication, phone, in person, or through letters or gifts. Something needs to be communicated, but in a way you aren't used to. You may also receive a message unexpected and unusual. Appreciate the little gestures, they can make the most impact. Yeah, so I did mention about you receiving unexpected money in the form of a gift. So I feel like this communication card confirms that. So this is a month in which either you're receiving an unexpected gift or someone may be gifting you money or gifting you something of value, of maybe monetary value, if not emotional value. The communication card also hints at that you will be receiving good news this month. And like I said, for a lot of you, it could be good news in regards to academics, studies, higher learning or opportunities, academic opportunities. I do see something about an invitation. Some of you may be receiving or extended an invitation to maybe to study abroad or to become part of a study program or to be taught something you're quite interested in or you did have some interest in learning more about or just learning it at some point in the past. I also see it being the case where if it's not that you are being extended an invitation to be taught something, then you could be suggested to teach, right? Someone may be suggesting you to give a course, a class, or give private lessons. In other words, there could be one or more people who are interested in learning from you. They could be reaching out to you, asking for you to teach them or mentor them, perhaps. Some of you may literally be teachers, mentors, tutors, maybe even counselors. I heard something about setting foundations. Oh, this is the month in which you may be building or establishing a clientele. Whether you are teachers, tutors, or not, yeah, if you work with clients, customers, yeah, you may be establishing a clientele this month, or I do see you being reached out by potential customers. So this is the month in which you will have the opportunity to either showcase your talents and or skills, or gain a pretty good reputation for your business or for your services, if not for yourself. I also heard that this is a month in which you can showcase your services, what your services offer. I heard if you commit to your work, if you work honestly and sincerely, you will be hearing back from those who you provided a service to this month, meaning they will return for more, right? So in other words, you will have returning customers, or you will gain a pretty good reputation. You will maybe establish a name for yourself in a specific industry and or field, or build credibility. There's something about a good start. I wonder if some of you are starting like a career, a line of work, a profession, or you recently started working somewhere new, or maybe it's in this month that you will have your first day at a new workplace. But whatever the case may be, it seems like how you're going about things, or how you have been going about things, has and is setting a good foundation in your career, in your line of work, and also when it comes to your reputation and your credibility. You're doing well, in other words. And I keep talking about like work and profession, but if you are currently students and you're like delving into internships or you're networking, then the whole thing about like building a reputation and setting strong and good foundations also applies to you guys, because it seems like, if you are networking, for example, you are establishing, or this month you will be building really good connections. And yeah, there's something about your reputation, you having or creating a really good reputation. Because I do see someone recommending you, or you being recommended to others. But let's see, your other card, yeah, is the Knight of Pentacles. Lovely. So the Knight of Pentacles is very hardworking, and the Knight of Pentacles cares about quality. The Knight of Pentacles cares about doing a good job, but also staying true to them, doing and creating something that they are proud of. So this knight is very dedicated, focused, practical, responsible, loyal, and can at times be a bit ambitious. But the Knight of Pentacles is someone who aims to make their dreams and wishes come true, which is interesting because the expression wishing well came through at the start of your reading. So I do see that a wish of yours is going to be granted this month. And it's interesting because we have a lot of stars here, and I did mention something about wishing upon a star. Yeah, you will experience a wish fulfillment, or this is the month in which a dream of yours is going to start getting realized. But I also see that it is in this month that you yourself are going to be dedicating time and working on making a wish of yours, or more than one wish of yours, come true. So not only are you wishing upon a star, hoping for the very best, but you're also taking action. You're doing whatever it is that is in your control, in your hands, in your power, to make these wishes or this wish of yours come true, which I feel is accelerating the whole wish fulfillment situation for you. So I see you being an active participant in your life and of the creation of your life and of your dreams. But I am definitely picking up on the energy of someone hardworking, someone dedicated and perseverant. So this is the month in which you may find yourself being very focused, or focusing on your goals, on achieving your goals, on making progress towards achieving your goals. And this is the month in which you will not only be focusing on making progress, but you will also be seeing progress, which will only fuel you and encourage you to keep going. And because we do have the sun showing up in your spread, which indicates vitality, for the majority of March, you might find yourself being very active, or just hard at work is what I keep hearing in my mind. Very dedicated, very focused to either your studies, or as mentioned, to achieving your goals, or to your task, whatever is at hand. And you're being very diligent as well. Whatever you are handling, whatever you're working on, you're giving it your all, you're giving it your full attention, and you're committed to seeing it through, to completing it, or to just doing the best that you can when it comes to it. I just thought of a receptionist, someone who's like answering phone calls, forwarding phone calls, emails, scheduling appointments in. So some of you may be working the front desk, or you could be working as a receptionist at some point during the month of March. Or answering a lot of phone calls, answering a lot of emails, whether you are working as a receptionist or not. Yeah, because I don't necessarily see or sense that you will find yourself being pretty busy, but I do see you being occupied, and I do see you being, as mentioned already, hard at work, or just quite focused on your task, your responsibilities, your duties, your studies. There is this air of like professionalism, or someone who might to others appear to be a very busy person. So because we again have this sun energy, it could be that you are very busy. It could be that you have your hands in different pots, that you are overseeing like different projects, or that your agenda is quite full, that you're booked, but you might not feel the weight of all these responsibilities or feel strained by it, because I heard you're in good shape, or you're feeling in good shape. Like you're able to handle it, right? You have the stamina for it, you have the energy for it. So that's why it might not feel like too much to you, or what you're handling right now or in the month of March is just like the perfect amount for you. It's not overbearing, or it's not tipping the scales in any way per se. Yeah, because I'm sensing this steadiness, especially because we have Pentacle energy here, and then the Four of Pentacles, which can indicate stability. I'm sensing, I'm picking up on a stable energy. So it seems like things are faring pretty well for you this month. You are managing quite well, you are doing well, and it could even be that it is in this month that you're starting to get the hang of something. Like you're starting to adapt or adjust to maybe a new setting. That is, if you've recently moved somewhere new, or you recently started working somewhere new, or you transferred to a new school. I also see a situation where maybe some of you have recently gone back to school, or resumed classes. And if things started off a little bit chaotic or hectic, I feel like this month of March, things are going to start in a way stabilizing, because once again, either this is the month in which you're getting adjusted to like the new schedule, the new routine, the new curriculum, or you would have already adjusted, and so things are feeling a lot more manageable for you. Yeah, and I also see a situation in which this is the month that you are either setting the pace, or you are finding or have found a good pacing, the right pace for you. Right? So you're not feeling rushed, you're not feeling behind, you're feeling right on track. And the word managing keeps coming to mind. So I wonder if some of you are literal managers, or it's just that you're managing quite well this month. And I'm being reminded of balance, and how balance is not something that once we achieve it, we never have to worry about it again. Balance is something that we have to constantly be maintaining. And so there is this air of like maintenance here, like of you maintaining the balance throughout this month of March, and doing so nicely. So again, I keep being reminded of that expression, you're managing quite well. Maybe you're managing your affairs very well, you're managing your schedule very well. Or this could be advice for some of you to not become overly enthusiastic this month, not make the mistake to do that and end up biting more than you can chew, right? Keep it moderate, keep it manageable. And I'm referring to like your schedule. how many responsibilities and tasks you are taking on, how many goals you are giving yourself to achieve in a certain amount of time. Be practical. The Knight of Pentacles is very practical and realistic. So, being practical and realistic will serve you well this month of March. That doesn't mean that you have to let go of your dreams or you have to surrender your ideals. You're just being advised to be level headed and realistic when it comes to how much you can handle, like truly handle at a time, and also how much time certain tasks require for you to complete them and complete them well or successfully. I don't know why this message is coming through, but what I heard in my mind is there's no need to overcompensate when you can keep it real, is what I heard. Does that make sense to you? Because keeping it real this month is going to serve you and it's also going to help you shine. So you're being reassured that you have the talents, you have the skill, you have the know-how or the capability. There's no need to overcompensate for anything. And the Knight of Pentacles can represent someone who is still learning, who is still evolving. So it's okay to accept that you are still getting better at something, that there is still maybe room for improvement. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't undermine your current expertise or experience. If there is anything that you need a little bit more time on because you're still figuring it out, give yourself that time. Also, because the Knight of Pentacles is a very in action person, like the Knight of Pentacles does, they not only plan, but they execute their plans accordingly. I sense that this is the month you are being encouraged to take some kind of steps, to take action where action is required. If you're seeking inspiration and inspiration isn't coming, then move, go out, take a break, take a walk, observe your surroundings, take in your surroundings to allow yourself to be inspired. Seek for that inspiration. Don't just wait for it to strike or to come to you. Right? If you want to make progress with a paper that you're writing, like a research paper or some kind of first draft, you can't just wait for the paper to write itself, right? If you're the author of that piece of written work, then it is you who has to get to writing, start writing. There's something about you taking the steps, you taking the first step, you starting, and not just waiting for something to happen. Right? The Knight of Pentacles is making me think of building momentum. Right? To build momentum, first we have to start. And to start sometimes requires for us to take some kind of action. To begin somewhere. To pick up a pen or start typing or start brainstorming, for example. And as mentioned before, you will be seeing progress this month. So if it is the case that you have already taken action, you have already taken steps, but for whatever reason, things were placed on hold or there wasn't any momentum, you weren't seeing any progress, I feel like it is in this month that things are going to change. You're going to start seeing some kind of progress. Things will start moving again or flowing. It might not be at the speed that you would hope for it to, but there will be movement nonetheless. There will be some kind of momentum. Right, so I'm seeing something along the lines of you witnessing and or experiencing slow and steady progress. And the reason why I say that is because the Knight of Pentacles isn't the fastest knight of the deck. It's actually one of the slowest. But the difference between this knight and the other knights is that the Knight of Pentacles cares about quality and cares about longevity. So this knight isn't going to rush into anything or rush in any way if rushing will affect the quality of whatever it is that they are working on or creating or building up to. So this Knight of Pentacles doesn't care for half-ass work and doesn't care for short-term gratification or something short-lived. The Knight of Pentacles is seeking something stable, something long-term, reliable, and promising. I just thought of the word fundamentals. So a lot of you could be working on fundamentals this month. All of a sudden, I thought of like a backbone. Again, the foundations. That could be what you're working on and or focusing on, creating that, having that to then be able to proceed with confidence or be able to build something that you are sure of with confidence. I just heard the fundamentals of knowledge. If you're quite experienced in something, some of you may be going back to the fundamentals, kind of like reviewing the basics of something that you already have a lot of like knowledge about or experience in. Yeah, so there's something here about like polishing your skills or like refreshing your memory. But I'm also sensing organization and planning. Some of you could be working on an outline. I thought of like a thesis or on a first draft, or you could be brainstorming a bit, like literally creating some kind of plan. All of a sudden, I thought of like architecture, engineering, like someone creating a kind of blueprint. Yeah, but those are just examples that are coming to mind in the moment. Another example that came to mind is spreads. Some of you, if you read tarot, you could be coming up with new spreads, experimenting with that, with new or different spreads, or reading with new or different decks. Some of you could be working with new tools, or you could be practicing with new tools, work tools, study tools, creative tools. But I see you quite excited about what you're focusing on, what you're working on, what you're dedicating your time to, excited about maybe creating something new, establishing new foundations, new fundamentals, or preparing yourself for what is next, I heard, or just bettering or improving upon your skills. Some of you may even find yourself being quite excited about acquiring a new skill. An example that just came to mind is of someone who like reads the tarot, like me, let's say, and who is coming to realize that their readings could benefit from expanding their vocabulary or bettering their communication style or maybe their delivery. Yeah, and so this month they're taking it upon themselves to learn new vocabulary or to practice their enunciation or pronunciation of words and how to better convey or deliver messages, that sort of thing. So this month you're taking it upon yourself to improve where you can or to do whatever it is that you can to improve in some kind of way, or to help yourself or help your situation however best you can if you see that certain areas do need a little bit of tweaking or adjusting or assistance. But there's definitely something about communication, something about maybe working on your communication style, or I'm also seeing some of you becoming more comfortable with communicating openly or maybe with public speaking in public, or speaking with figures of authority. Yeah, this is the month in which you might be finding your voice or finding that you speak a little bit more fluently, more clearly. And because the ninth house is the house of foreign languages, if you have been practicing or learning a new language, it seems like this is the month in which either you're going to get an opportunity to talk with a native speaker of the language you have been practicing or learning, which will allow for you to test yourself in a way or just know where you are at what level, and also receive confirmation and validation that you have been making progress or that you can understand the language, that you can speak the language. Some of you may be offering a service or a creation of yours in another language or in another format. So again, going back to like tarot readings on like YouTube, let's say currently I'm offering readings in English, but maybe in the month of March, I decide to offer readings in Spanish, right? Which is the other language that I can speak and understand. So if you're bilingual or if you speak multiple languages, if you know sign language, for example, and you offer like some service that is in the realms of communication. This is the month you could be offering your services in these other languages. Or if it's not about languages and communication styles, then this could be a format, offering a different or new format. The other example that is coming to mind is you receiving something in a new format. So let's say a student who this month is considering taking online courses, which is different from taking in-person classes. Right? But I do see something about you connecting with others or with someone in a new way. Yeah, we do have the dog here, which makes me think of friendship and loyalty, camaraderie. So if you usually text someone, like that's your only form of communication with this person is through texting or DMing or maybe emailing, this month you will be exploring a new communication form, which could be talking on the phone or FaceTiming, right? Or meeting up in person. Or it could be a little bit more personal in that if you and someone only talked about a certain topic, like a certain area of life, this month you're steering into other topics, right? You're talking about other areas of life. Right? So for some, this could be a situation where an acquaintance could be turning into a friendship, or like a professional relationship could be like steering into a friendship. Or someone that who you have a specific dynamic with could be attempting to transform your dynamic or your relationship type from, let's say, a professional relationship to a more like personal relationship. And some of you might be allowing that, some of you might be okay with that, but I will say with the Four of Diamonds, others of you might be not okay with that and setting some kind of boundary. Yeah, but I do see an attempt. I do see kind of a nudging to, hey, let's open up more to each other, or let's steer in this direction. What do you say? And then it's up to the other person whether they're okay with that or not, they allow it or not, or, proceed. But I do see you talking back and forth with someone who you're very happy to talk with, someone who makes you giddy, or someone who brightens your day whenever you hear their voice or whenever you hear from them. Yeah, there's a lot of communicating, especially on the phone. So you may be FaceTiming someone a lot during this month. And there's something about two people enthusiastically sharing news about their day with each other. So this is the month in which not only you are sharing good news with others or have good news to share, because I do see you having good news to share, or like exciting things to share, like about your day-to-day, about your life, your work life, school, whatnot, but your loved ones will also be on the same boat as you. They will also have exciting news to share with you, exciting things to talk to you about. And so I do see this beautiful back and forth of sharing each other's joy and sharing in each other's joy and excitement. Yeah, so this might be an exciting month, or this is a month in which you're really appreciating the little things. And so not a single day is boring because of that, because you're really appreciating, I heard, the minutiae. If you have been waiting to hear back from somebody or from somewhere, you will be hearing back from them this month. And whatever you're hearing from them or hearing back from them will be good news or will be positive news. And because we do have the Knight of Pentacles here, if you have been applying for jobs, if you have been going to job interviews or maybe school interviews, I am seeing like interviews through the phone, via the phone, you will be receiving a call back, or you will be hearing from more than one place if you have been like reaching out to more than one place this month. Some of you may even be offered like a contract of sorts, or you could be offered employment, you could be offered a job within this month. And I do see plans. So you could be making plans with an employer, making plans with maybe a potential customer or client, But I see a lot of you going back and forth with another about what you're planning or what your plans are, maybe in terms of a specific project. There's a lot of like getting back to you later. Like, okay, we talked this out right now in this phone call, but let me get back to you later with an answer to your questions or with a response to whatever it is we discussed in this meeting, in this phone call. So there could be some negotiations going on or occurring this month for some of you. For some of you. Yeah, and if that resonates with you, if you see that being your case, it seems like this back and forth is going to last throughout the month of March. So there could be a lot of like arrangements or, as mentioned before, negotiations occurring throughout this month before any decisions are made or any deals are made. Or that's what some of you are being advised if you are like in the process of making some kind of deal, or you are wanting to strike some kind of deal. Make sure to negotiate, right? Make sure to ask your questions if you have any questions, or if there is anything that you feel to be unclear. Make sure to get clarification on it first before agreeing or disagreeing with anything. Okay, yeah, remember, there's no need to rush. There's no need to rush. You can take it slow, is what I heard, or you can take it this slow. But let me know. There is something about a foreigner, you talking, conversing, going back and forth with someone who is from abroad or someone whose first language is different from yours. Okay, but now I'm going to look at two things. So first I'm going to draw out a card to find out what is something that you can look forward to this month. And then I'm going to draw out a card to find out what is something that you are being advised to look out for this month, okay? So look forward to, we have fixing to with go get it, required and inspired action. Now is the time, readiness and follow through. Yeah, okay, so as mentioned before, this is a month in which you're taking action or you're following through with a self-made promise or with some kind of promise, or someone who has made a promise to you is following through. And I also thought of a follow-up email. So if you have been waiting for someone to follow up with you, they will be following up with you this month. They will be reaching back to you or reaching out to you. As mentioned before, I do see a lot of you receiving some kind of call back. And there is a follow through. So like I said, there's this back and forth that I'm picking up on. So whatever you're starting this month, like whatever negotiations, whatever conversations, interactions that are being striked this month, they're not being cut short. You're seeing some kind of progress, some kind of continuation, because that's what the Knight of Pentacles promises. And then the fixing to also is alluding to. And I'm thinking of how, this sounds terrible, but like cats often play with their food. They take the time to play around with their prey. So there is something here about action being taken through you engaging with something. Right? Like responding to an email or giving some kind of response. You're taking action through that. So by you doing that, by you engaging, by you picking up the phone, answering the email, asking questions, reciprocating, you are taking action. You are already in a way claiming something, is what I heard. So to go get it, to go get something doesn't mean that you have to immediately say yes to something by closing a deal right then and there, but it could be through you engaging. So it's okay if you take your time to ask your questions. If this is a situation that could benefit from you asking questions or getting more informed or engaging more with something. Yeah, but fixing to also makes me think of you being focused, you having your eyes on the prize. I feel like this is a month in which you're going to feel very productive, or you will end up getting a lot done, or you will find yourself being pretty determined to seeing something through, determined to following through with your promises. Or this is a month in which you will see a lot of progress because those who you are working with, those who you are waiting on, are taking action. They are following through. They are responding to you. Yeah, so you're getting feedback this month from others, from your environment, from the universe, and the feedback is fueling you and it is positive because I sense that whatever feedback you are receiving this month, it's encouraging you or motivating you to keep on going. It's also inspiring you in some kind of way. Yeah, so if you've been lacking inspiration or you've been feeling a bit sluggish or down in the slumps a bit, I feel like things will be changing this month. Your mood will be shifting. You may find yourself being a little bit more optimistic, definitely energetic, and more enthusiastic as well. Okay, but now I want to draw out a card to find out what to look out for. Also, cats, dogs, animals, furry animals more specifically, could be of significance. If you have an animal companion that has been unwell or has gone through a medical procedure, a surgery, or if they are scheduled for one, know that all will go well. They will be making a fast or successful recovery, or this is a month in which you're receiving news that your animal companion's health is improving, or you're seeing that your animal companion's health is improving. There's also something about a treatment coming to an end, or you reaching the last stages of a treatment, right? If it's not your treatment, it could be the treatment of a loved one, and that is coming as good news. But in general, I do see you receiving good news in regards to someone's health, someone's recovery, or in regards to a treatment of sorts. Let's see what it is that you can look out for, or what to look out for this month. And we have number 17 with just fell off the turnip truck. It's funny because I tend to fidget and I tend to kind of play around with the decks when I'm delivering messages. It helps me concentrate or kind of attune to the messages. And while I was fidgeting with the deck, while I was talking, this card fell out. But I put it back into the deck because I hadn't stated that I was going to pull out a card for what to look out for this month. And lo and behold, the card fell out again. So we have naivety with obliviousness, inexperience, gullibility, study, and apprenticeship needed. Yeah, so as mentioned before, if you do need preparation, right? If you find that there is room for improvement somewhere, it's best for you to acknowledge that and accept it and work towards acquiring that knowledge or making those improvements, because ignoring it, pretending as if it isn't there, or just feeling bad about it or beating yourself up for having room for improvement isn't going to do you any good. Remember, we're all learning. Always, we're always learning. There's always room for improvement, no matter what stage in life we are, what level of mastery we are. There's always room for improvement. This world, this universe is infinite, and so are you. So yeah, it's okay if you need preparation. It's okay if you need to like refresh your memory. That's perfectly fine. And I feel like some of you are being advised to do just that because I feel like it will serve you well, or it will be what will help you feel ready to tackle on whatever it is that you need to take on. And as mentioned before, if there has been anything that you were struggling with, I do feel like this is a month in which you're making improvements and a progress. But please don't be disappointed if you don't master it this month, because again, it seems like you are learning, but the important thing is that you are seeing and making progress and that you are actually learning something, which I feel like you are. With naivety, there is something again about practicality, being practical and realistic, not being overly idealistic about what should be or like certain expectations, because that could end up hurting you and that could lead to unnecessary disappointment, right? And the number 17 is really standing out to me, which is reminding me of the star card in traditional tarot, which is a card that speaks of hope, faith. It can also speak about like wish fulfillments, which is something that we mentioned at the start of your reading. So I feel like a wish of yours is going to be fulfilled, but probably it's going to be fulfilled in parts. And I recall mentioning how some of you may not be so happy with the pace or the speed in which something is progressing and or developing. And for some, this could be like a manifestation or like the fulfillment of a wish, right? Or the achievement of a goal. And so if you end up resonating with that, if you feel like something has been moving too slow, or if you expected for something to have happened faster or to have moved quicker than it is currently moving, then I sense you're being advised to take a more objective look at your situation and see if maybe you are placing unrealistic expectations when it comes to this situation, and if how things are going about, how things are moving is actually pretty realistic, or it makes sense. It would make sense that it would be moving at this pace or that it would be taking this long. Yeah, because I'm seeing like some kind of discrepancy or some biases going on here. What example can I give? As an example, let's say student A comes in asking their math teacher to teach them all of Algebra 1 in one afternoon, while expecting themselves to master all of Algebra 1 in that one afternoon. That is not realistic, right? So there might be something that you are maybe overlooking, or you are underestimating or overestimating, that is maybe making it difficult for you to see that you're not doing that bad, or that things are going actually quite well, or that you're right on track, or that you are making good progress, steady progress. Yeah, and maybe this could be due to a lack of experience. Because when we're not familiar with something, we can have all these expectations and notions of how it works. And when we actually get involved, when we actually start experiencing the things firsthand, that's when reality hits us like, oh, it's nothing like how I envisioned or imagined. But that doesn't mean that things are going wrong for you. It just means that, maybe you had this idea of the whole ordeal that was more a misconception rather than a representation of how things actually are in respects to whatever it may be that you're tackling on, or getting involved in, or gaining experience in. So that's just something to consider. I also feel like this month you are, again, being advised to take your time with something, right? If someone reaches out to you with an offer, like, great, it's okay for you to be excited about it, but just because you're offered something doesn't mean that you need to say yes to it or right away, right? Especially if things seem a little bit unclear, if you don't really know what this offer is about, what is being asked of you, and so forth. So, take your time. And if you're not sure about what questions to ask, then take a moment to see if there's anyone that like anyone around you who might guide you in this, who could offer you insight as to how to handle these situations, like how to make negotiations, how to strike a deal. Yeah, take your time to do your research and to, once again, ask your questions. So that's what I'm seeing here. But now I'm going to pull out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance for you guys. And we have courage with Leo and spirit, and the key phrase, a lion leads the pride, and the message, move forward with courage. Face whatever it is that frightens you by finding your inner strength and your ability to persevere. Courage is a learned skill that you can build upon. Yeah, there's something here about building your skills, or remembering that certain skills aren't acquired right away, they're built upon. And they're built upon through practice and maybe even time. And it seems like not only skills, but things such as courage and confidence as well. Yeah, so yeah, definitely this month, some of you may be tackling something that is completely new, or something that you don't have much experience in, or are inexperienced in or about. And you're being let know that just because you lack this experience doesn't mean that you can't do it, doesn't mean that you can't tackle it or face it head on. Remember, we all started somewhere. We have to start somewhere in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to acquire that experience. Okay, but let's see. The zodiac signs, Sagittarius, Leo, and the earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn could be of significance. As mentioned, for the animals, more specifically felines, because we have a lion here, canines, rodents, and horses could be of significance. Stars, constellations, a starry night sky could be of significance, as well as the brightest star in the sky in our solar system, which I believe would be the sun, could be of significance. Turnips, radishes, means of communication could be of significance as well. In terms to numbers, we have 7, 27, 9, and 17. The number 7 could be of significance. It showed up 3 times in your spread. Yeah, and also the number 63 showed up in your spread. Some of you may be learning how to drive this month. Yeah, and you could be getting the hang of the fundamentals or the basics of driving. Sorry for laughing. I was reminded of London Tipton from the show A Sweet Life of Second Cody, where Mr. Mosby, I think that's his name, teaches her how to drive, and she addresses the gear shifts as the Prindle. If you know, you know. Yeah, so you may be learning how to park, how to reverse, that sort of thing. Yeah, but in general, this just makes me think of you learning some fundamentals, you getting it down, or getting the hang of them this month. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much, and I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of March, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, the number 2023 immediately came to mind, which made me think of the year 2023. So it seems like something that initiated in the year 2023 is finally coming to an end or a close in the month of March of 2026. Or it is in this month that you're receiving news that it's finally coming to an end. Or it is in this month that you will experience the final stages. The second to last stage is what I heard of whatever it is that began or you began in the year 2023. And this could be anything. It could be like a treatment, some kind of journey, a project, an endeavor, or some kind of process. If it's not that something is coming to an end or it's reaching its final stages in the month of March, then it could be a goal that since the year 2023 you've been aiming to achieve, and it is in this month of March that you're either achieving it or you're seeing for yourself, you're getting proof that you're very, very close to achieving this goal. But whatever this culmination is about, if this is resonating with you, it is a happy one that you are celebrating. I wonder if for a lot of you, this has something to do with a life lesson, maybe a cycle, maybe a karmic cycle, if you believe in that, or the end of a phase, a life phase, for example. Now, what I heard in my mind was issue resolved. So if there has been some kind of conflict or you've been dealing with a problem for a couple of years now, maybe since 2023, it seems like it is in this month that this is getting resolved or the conflict is ending. I heard that chapter is closed now, or it soon will be closed. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the first set of cards, which will give us information about the main themes and lessons of this month, as well as an overview of the month of March. Will there be an eclipse this month of March? I'm not sure. I need to check. Because something about an eclipse or eclipse season is coming through. It seems like an eclipse or eclipse season is marking the ending of an era, the ending of a cycle. The ending of karma. But we have the 7th house with Venus and Libra and the key term indecision. Interesting. Let me look up if there will be an eclipse. There will be a lunar eclipse on March 3rd, and it will be the last lunar eclipse until New Year's Eve of 2028, it appears. So in 3 years. Interesting, because the year 2023 came to mind, and that was 3 years ago. So the number 3 seems to be of significance, or there's something about every 3 years, or a span of 3 years. So a door closes and opens every 3 years, or you get the chance to close and open a door every 3 years. Interesting. And door makes me think of like opportunities, like chapters, eras in your life. So this month of March, it seems like you will have the opportunity, the choice to close a chapter in your life, to say goodbye to an energy or to an old way of thinking, to an old way of being possibly, and give way to something new, something different. Something that feels more in alignment with maybe what you want to experience or what you feel genuinely called to or resonant with. Now let me pull out the rest of the cards. Maybe a door of opportunity is presenting itself to you this month of March. It's making me think of a portal. It's kind of fae-like, fairy tale-like. Every 3 years, a portal opens, and you have the choice of whether or not to step into that portal. But we have get weird with experiment, creativity, number 79, with your weird side needs to be brought to the surface. Get creative with yourself, experiment with creation, sexual activities, try something new you've never tried, leave your comfort zone and laugh at yourself in the process. Okay? This angelic figure in the indecision card illustration is making me think of angel numbers or repeating numbers. So either recently you have been seeing a lot of angel numbers, repeating numbers, or it's in the month of March that you will start seeing them often. And the reason why is it's serving as some kind of guidance and or indicator that now's the time, or it's okay to act, to choose, or to make some kind of final decision. maybe take a leap of faith. For a lot of you, I feel like these angel numbers are meant to reassure you or kind of remind you that change can occur, that it is possible, that if you choose to, you can redirect or experience something different. Things can change is what I hear in my mind. But we have the King of Diamonds with number 15, the letter. I'm a bit shaky. You can start anew. I feel like some of you are being reassured that if you want to, you can start anew. You can redirect. Oh, wait, I wasn't meant to work with this deck. I was meant to pull out a tarot card. I think more specifically what some of you are being reassured about is that you don't have to repeat a cycle. You don't have to go through something again. You can break patterns if you want to, if you choose to. And we have the it's the 10 of Wands in the reversal. Interesting, because the number 10 indicates endings. It can also indicate culmination. So, yeah, I feel like this month could be a transitional month. It could be a month that marks the ending of something. We do have the 7th house here, which is the house of commitments, long-term partnerships, contracts. So, because we do have the letter here, this month a contract might be coming to an end, or you might be receiving a notification or a reminder that this is the month in which you can renew a contract if you wanted to, or maybe a subscription is also what came to mind. And then it will be up to you, because with the indecision card, it seems like you are being given the choice to either continue with something, right? Renew a contract, let's say, or remain in a situation, remain in an environment, or terminate a contract perhaps, decline an offer of renewal, or move on from a situation, move out of an environment, or choose a different environment. But it will be up to you, because the 10 of Wands fell out in the reversal. You are being let known that something isn't permanent, or it doesn't have to be permanent. You're not obligated or being expected to remain somewhere or continue with something that displeases you, depletes you of your energy, or stresses you. The 10 of Wands, when it is in the upright, can indicate burnout. It can also indicate exploitation, underappreciation. When the 10 of Wands shows up in the upright, it can sometimes indicate someone might be feeling a bit taken for granted. So it's showing up in the reverse. It's hinting at that this month you can let go of a burden, or there will be an opportunity to, oh, now it makes sense, to relieve yourself of a burden. The reason why I went, oh, is because when I was meditating on the energy of this group, I felt a weight on my shoulders, and I actually felt myself being pushed down into my seat, which I found a bit peculiar, and I thought maybe it was just me, maybe it was my posture. But now that I see the 10 of Wands, yeah, some of you might have been feeling a bit burdened, or you might have been taking on too much, or the responsibilities you have been taking on might be ones that are not even yours to begin with, are ones that you don't really have to be carrying on your shoulders. And so you're being let known this month you can relieve yourself of them. You can say no. The 10 of Wands in the reversal is often a indicator that someone would benefit from saying no, or someone is learning to say no. Someone is learning to assert their boundaries and to prioritize their own well-being, to prioritize their own needs, maybe their need for rest, for care, for attention and consideration. Now, we do have the letter here, which the message on the card reads, the letter is a sign of good tidings and unexpected good fortune. So as mentioned before, this month, a door of opportunity will present itself to you. You either will be receiving good news or a very generous offer, or there will be an opportunity for you to turn things around for you in an area of life that has been struggling a bit, or you've been struggling in it a bit. Now, this door of opportunity may come via a literal offer or a post. I'm thinking of you stumbling upon an ad, like an employment ad or an apartment or a room or a space up for rent as an example. But whatever you're stumbling upon, whether it be an ad, a post, or maybe an application or some information, it's exactly what you've been needing, or it will be what will help you transition out of maybe an unpleasant, unfavorable situation, or it will help you get out of a rut, is what I heard, or improve your circumstance, improve your situation. I also see this, let's say, door of opportunity coming through in the form of an idea. The letter here is making me think of messages. So you may be stumbling upon something that will inspire an idea, and it is that idea you're being advised to further consider or to look more into and further develop it, because it is the very thing that will help improve your situation if you were to take action towards it or implement it in some kind of way. Or this idea might just come to you as like a channeled message is what came through, or maybe as some kind of epiphany. There's this feeling of revelation, and the example that is coming to mind is like a viewer who is tuning into a general pick a card reading or a tarot reading on, let's say, YouTube. And as the tarot reader is delivering the messages, that's when the viewer has an aha moment, like something clicks, some kind of understanding. They experience some kind of revelation. And that revelation in itself, that aha moment, is that door of opportunity. It's the key or the very thing that if they were to, again, further consider it, apply it, would help them transition into this, let's say, new beginning, into this new era, or will help them change the direction in which their wheel of fate is moving in. I keep thinking of like a slow and gradual transition, and I keep thinking of a wheel, like something shifting, something turning around for the better or in a more favorable direction. With Get Weird, this is the month in which your curiosity might be piqued or sparked. And if that is the case, you're being advised to entertain this curiosity. Allow yourself to be driven by it in a way that is conducive to you or is productive, because this is the month in which you're really being encouraged to experiment, to try new things. More importantly, to look for new ways, alternative ways. Because with this angel showing up in the indecision card, it seems like this month you are being guided. You are receiving a lot of alternatives, or you are being shown or given options, right? All of a sudden, I thought of a vending machine. It's like a vending machine is being plopped right in front of you with all this variety of snacks. And it's so that you can see, hey, look, all of this is available to you. All you have to do is press the code of what you want and it will be delivered to you. You will get it. But select a few, try them, and then decide what it is that you want. But you can select. So this month, you may come across a lot of possibilities, right? Like, for example, if person A has been thinking about quitting their job because it's not paying well, they're being overworked, but they haven't quit because they can't really envision themselves working somewhere new, or they're struggling to believe that they will find another job, then this month, universe is helping them by presenting them with other job opportunities, right? Like having them stumble upon ads, or having person A come into alignment with people who are referring them to potential employers, or having person A hear about, hey, look, there's a job opening over there, or I know someone who will be interested in hiring you, that sort of thing. Just to show like person A, look, it is possible. There's so many options and offers out there. You can make this transition, you can make this jump. But the universe can only help so much. The rest will be up to person A, right? Person A would need to work on the resume and apply and make calls and show up at the interviews and so forth. Right? That was just an example, but I do feel like whatever your specific case might be, whatever it is that you've been worrying about, if you have been worrying about how something can work out or what to do, how you can improve your financial situation or improve your living situation, or how can you move on from something you've decided to let go of, what to do next. You're receiving guidance on that. You're being shown different ways. You're being given options, possibilities this month. And that is also one of the other reasons you're being advised to get a little curious, right? Curious enough to look around, to maybe do a little bit of research or investigation yourself, or just open your mind, allow yourself to open up to the possibilities, maybe by considering them, whatever possibilities are being presented to you this month. And again, these possibilities could also come in the form of inspiration or even advice or guidance coming from others, like others showing you or kind of illustrating to you via their perspective how something can work out, right? Or how you can work something out. If what you've been going back and forth on is a dilemma, a problem. Because I do see a back and forth. I do see that some of you have been pretty indecisive about something, or you haven't made up your mind of whether or not to let go. Maybe let go of a situation that, once again, you've come to realize is either no good for you, or is holding you back in some kind of way, or it's depleting you of your resources being monetary or time or energy. We do have the King of Diamonds here, which reminds me of the King of Pentacles, who often represents stability, security, financial security to be more specific, and abundance. When the King of Pentacles shows up in a spread, it often indicates hard work paying off. And so I feel like universe really wants to encourage you. They're kind of like guiding you towards something that will give back to you. Or they're guiding you towards something that will help you with getting a return of your investment, like your invested time, your invested energy, because universe wants to bless you. Like they realize how hard you've been working. They've recognized your perseverance and they see that you merit the reward. Like they want you to be rewarded. They don't want for you to continue struggling. They don't want for you to continue pushing a boulder up a hill. They want you to instead enjoy a time in the meadows, feeling the breeze and the warmth of the sun and smelling fresh flowers. They want for you to enjoy the rewards of your efforts. They want you to see what beautiful things come about from your efforts, from your hard work and your dedication. And right now there could be something that is making it a little bit difficult for you to either appreciate yourself or to claim your rewards, claim your blessings, or reap them. And the reason why I keep mentioning options and you being presented with possibilities is because we do have this indecision card as representing the overarching energy of this spread. Right? So maybe you are being presented with an offer this month, but this offer might require for you to say goodbye to something else, something that hasn't been very fruitful, or it will simply require for you to take some kind of leap of faith, maybe believe in yourself, maybe get out of your comfort zone, right? With get weird here, maybe that's like the sacrifice some of you might be feeling like you're making, which is getting out of your comfort zone or starting some kind of journey. right? Sometimes it could be uncomfortable to start a journey, right? To go through a whole process, start a process. Or start over. Maybe for some, this could be something about starting over. But something else that I'm seeing, if it is the case that you've taken action, right? You've done the work, you've gone out there, you've sought, you've applied, you've reached out, you've informed yourself, but still you've seen no progress, or you haven't gotten any, like, let's say, positive results, things are changing this month of March. With the 10 of Wands showing up in the reverse, it seems like the difficult time, the whole needing to persevere and push through, is soon coming to an end, right? And again, I get this feeling of gradualness, a wheel slowly turning. So throughout the month of March, you will be experiencing a shift, right? So I don't feel like this is going to be instant. Like one day you're at point A and then the next day you're at point B. I feel like this is going to happen as the days progress. You're slowly rising, or things are slowly turning around, turning upward is what I heard. And I feel like this is going to continue progressing, continue improving as the months progress. And some of you might literally be receiving a letter. If you recently received a rejection or a no, and you've been grieving that, or that has resulted in you worrying about your future, worrying about what is next, I feel like this month you are going to receive some good news from somewhere. Like, for example, if you applied to multiple places and recently, maybe in the month of March, you received a no or experienced some kind of rejection, then in the month of March, you're hearing back from another place with good news, letting you know that either you have been approved or you have been accepted, or if you are still interested, we can take the next steps, is what I heard. Maybe in a job application process, or maybe for some this has something to do with school. I will say for a select few of you, I am seeing possibly the commencement or the development or the finalization of a divorce process or of a separation. So some of you might be deciding to end a relationship, or if you have gone your separate way from another, this is the month in which you may be going through an emotional release. Because when we experience endings, we go through many stages and phases, especially when we let go of something, right? Or we walk away from something or someone. We can detach physically, but then we might need to release our emotional attachment to that which we have let go of or walked away from. So if you feel like there's still some emotional attachment, which is making it a little difficult for you to fully let go of something or move on, focus on what is up ahead or in your present, then it is in this month in which you are releasing. You are in a way emotionally detaching or finding closure. But I also feel like this is the month in which a lot of you are being given the opportunity to accept something better for yourself, or maybe raise your standards. This is the month in which you will also be given the opportunity to say no, to assert your boundaries if you have trouble saying no, if you have trouble asserting your boundaries, speaking up for yourself. With Get Weird, you might be dedicating time to a creative outlet. I see a lot of self-expressing happening this month, so it could be through a creative outlet. Some of you might be taking up journaling or experimenting with creative writing. If not that, it could be something like painting, drawing. I'm seeing something about painting the walls. Maybe some of you will decide to paint the walls of your space as a way to release pent-up energy, or as a way to unwind or clear your mind. But you might be starting creative projects, personal projects, or DIY projects, passion projects maybe, as an outlet. I sense that for some of you, this month is the start of a creative era, an era of self-exploration or self-expression. And again, there's this feeling of it's happening gradually, right? So this month is the start. And so you might start seeing signs of this era through you becoming interested in the arts, or you taking on hobbies, or resuming old hobbies, or revisiting passion projects or old pursuits. I'm seeing something about like reading, writing, painting, drawing, photography, home decor, the arts and crafts. And again, I keep thinking of walls, painting the walls of a space, of a room. So some of you may be investing in paints, pigments this month. Now I thought of makeup. So little by little, you will start making more time for your interests, your creative interests, your passions, for hobbies, personal pursuits, endeavors, that sort of thing. Some of you may be considering or looking into art schools, or considering taking some kind of arts and crafts class. I thought of like a ceramics class, pottery class or course, or enrolling in a technical or vocational school or course. Or you may be self-learning, self-studying something that you're quite interested in or curious about or intrigued by at some point this month, or just looking into how you can learn more about this, how you can make more time for this, or just making time for it this month. But I do see something about a correspondence, you receiving a letter or maybe a response via a letter, a physical letter, or maybe an email or a DM. But whatever this response is, or whatever news this letter brings or information, it will be positive, it will be good news. Oh, okay. I feel like this month, as mentioned, you might need to make a decision because it's coming with a deadline. Again, like the renewal of a contract, right? You're being notified that a contract is about to end this month. And if you want to continue, you must renew by, let's say, the end of March. Right? Or by the 7th of March, because the number 7 is here. And so now you have to make a decision. Now you have to decide whether you renew this contract, whether you renew a lease, for example, to an apartment, a space, a place, or you don't, right? So it's about you deciding, do I want to continue here? Do I want to remain here? Or do I let go of this? Do I open myself up to new things, new opportunities, different places? So for some, there's a little bit of a risk factor here, or maybe that's how you might be feeling, that a decision you're making might be a little bit risky because it could entail an ending. It could entail taking a leap of faith of sorts. But it's important that you make this decision now, I feel, because as mentioned before, it's sort of as if you're being hinted that this decision is kind of a key that either locks or unlocks a door that determines whether you repeat something or you experience something new, something different. I'm being reminded of that quote, what you're not changing, you're choosing. And I understand there are certain things in life that are out of our control, right? And it could be the case that a lot which you have been experiencing is very much at this moment out of your control. But you're being let know that there are certain things in your life, maybe in your habits, maybe in your mindset or mentality, in how you approach those things that are out of your control, that you can change for the better. Not everything is out of your control. And I feel like this month, a lot of what you felt was out of your control is starting to become accessible to you in a way where now you can have some influence on it. And maybe that's why you're kind of being let know, hey, now is the time to act, or now is the time to actually choose and or decide, or maybe make up your mind in regards to certain things that you've been going back and forth on. But now I want to pull out a card to first find out what it is that you can look forward to this month. And then I will draw out a card to find out what you're being suggested to look out for. Ooh, those were a lot of cards. Okay, so yeah, we have number 41 with It's Blowing Up a Storm. With strong momentum, sudden change, necessary shakeup, transformation, and hope. The It's Blowing Up a Storm card of this deck reminds me of the Tower card. The rainbow here in the background reminds me of like divine intervention or revelations, right? So whatever changes are occurring, that might feel a bit out of your control or might feel unexpected, might feel like they're shaking up your world a little bit. They are happening to help you see maybe what isn't working out, what is holding you back, or to help remind you that you don't have to repeat a pattern, that you can experience transformation. So yeah, if you've been experiencing like a dry spell or some kind of stagnancy, or you have been feeling blocked in some kind of way, I feel like in the areas that you have been experiencing, let's say stagnancy, there will be some kind of momentum. I feel like some of you are being shown that what you consider to be blockages or what you thought were blockages are not actually blockages. Or you're being shown that in reality you are not blocked, that there is a way through. Because we do have this energy of hope. So I feel like some of you this month are being shown or coming to this realization that, again, this might only be for a select few of you, that possibly it is your mindset, your perception of a situation that has been making you feel as if you're blocked or as if you can't move forward. Because it's interesting. In the Get Weird card, we have this brush. And then we have the rainbow colors. And I did talk about like colors or pigmentation, right? So it's as if this month you're being shown or you're realizing that you have this brush that is like your wand. Have you guys ever seen that Rapunzel Barbie movie? Because I believe in that movie, Rapunzel or Barbie has this brush, which is a magical brush. And with it, she can paint whatever reality she wants. She can kind of teleport in a way to new places. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this paintbrush. It's like with this brush, with this wand, you can create opportunities for yourself. You can create a whole new reality. And this wand, it's maybe your imagination. It's maybe your outlook, your perception. Or it could even be something like your own talents, your skills, your interests. Like those can open doors of opportunity for you, or those can help with you opening up the world or opening up a whole new world to yourself, something along those lines. But I do feel like this month is going to come with one or more revelations, with one or more aha moments. It could even come with one or more harsh truths. Helpful, insightful, but a little bit difficult to hear because they will require for you to be utterly sincere with yourself. Right? So these truths are not harsh because they come with bad news. It's more like they might be a hard pill to swallow because they will require for you to be utterly honest, real, and true with yourself or about a situation. But I also feel like this storm is coming in to remove the debris, to wash away all that has been confusing you, that which doesn't serve you, or there's this feeling of it's making way, it's clearing up the air in a way. But one thing for sure, you will experience some kind of a momentum this month. Things will pick up. There will be changes. I'm seeing roads opening up. You will be seeing possibilities. Options will present themselves to you. The way through will be shown to you. If you've been closed off in some kind of way or you feel like the road has been blocked. And I feel like this blowing up a storm is also representing an inner storm, maybe a bit of an inner turmoil that you could be experiencing this month. But this inner turmoil is healthy. It's how it's coming through. Like it's meant to nudge you. It's meant to push you forward. It's meant to instigate, propel you to action. So you could be feeling a little bit restless at some point, or you could be the one that is blowing up a storm maybe in an industry or in a field of study, field of work, because with your innovations, with your desire to explore new things, you might be challenging maybe old programmings or old way of doing things by simply presenting something new, presenting alternatives. The rainbow here is making me think of authenticity. So you could be taking a leap towards authenticity, a more authentic approach, a more authentic way of being or of showing up. And that could be what is like completely changing things for you in your life. At some point this month of March, you could be feeling this like this impulse or this desire to do things, to take action, or to take calculated risks, or you may find yourself moving. I thought of Sophie. Have you seen how the Studio Ghibli film Howl's Moving Castle? When Sophie finally makes her way to Howl's Moving Castle, and she starts cleaning the entire castle. And her doing so wreaks havoc, right? Because she's coming in like a storm. She's changing things, she's moving things, she's clearing the cobwebs, she's opening the windows, letting fresh air in. And that's change. That's change within the castle, but it's good change. It's positive change because it's making way for new. It's making way for old spells to be broken, for old wounds to be healed. At least that's what Sophie helped to initiate in a way. And I take a moment to refer to this movie because that's kind of the energy I'm seeing here. This feels like an initiation. It feels like the breaking of a spell you've been under, a spell like you feel like your life has been under. You're waking up, or things in your life are waking up. They're stirring. Things are starting to stir. And it's sort of like you're being let know, hey, we're stirring things up for the better for you, but then it will depend on you whether you help to build the momentum. So I feel like that's maybe what some of you are kind of like being hinted at, that like this month it's up to you to build the momentum. You know, we can start things, but then it's up to you to encourage that, like encourage the fire, not let it die out. Right? And so this fire might be sparked in you, right, through like creativity, curiosity, or it might be sparked in an area of life or in your life through opportunities coming in, you being offered several things. But then you need to kindle that fire, you know, feed it by taking action if you're interested in keeping that fire alive. Okay. Talking about fire made me think of Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. So I mentioned two movies, right? The Barbie movie and Howl's Moving Castle. Those could be of significance. But maybe some of you are animators, illustrators, or that could be something you might be delving into, looking into, or find yourself being interested in at some point in the month of March, or maybe in the year 2026. But now I'm going to draw out a card to find out what it is that you are being advised to. Yeah, look out for one horse town with number 37, boredom, monotony, small-mindedness, branch out and move on, novelty needed. Yeah, I feel like this is what you're coming out of. This is what you're kind of being advised not to fall back into. Right? Because I feel like, yeah, maybe the spell that is being broken or will be broken this month is one of monotony, is one of repetitiveness, repetition. I did talk about cycles and patterns, being in some kind of loop. If you feel like you've been in some kind of loop, you're being brought out of that this month, but it's like a stream, right? It's like a current. You're being removed from the current, safely removed, but you're still near it. And so it's kind of like telling a kid, you know, don't go back in there. If you go back in there, you'll be stuck there again. Right? You'll be experiencing the same thing. So if you don't want to go back in there, then don't jump back into the current or the conveyor belt is what I heard. Yeah, I feel like universe is giving you a lending hand this month with maybe things that you felt were a little bit out of your control, or they're giving you a lending hand through some kind of head start, jump start, kick start in an area of your life, in your life, or even within you, by infusing you with energy or with inspiration or motivation. But then it's up to you what you make of that, right? It's up to you how you utilize that. Because they're saying, we can help you, we can show you, but then we also need for you to get out there, right? We also need for you to take initiative of some kind, right? If we give you an idea for like a novel, for a story, then it's up to you to start writing that story, or start brainstorming, expanding on it. We give you the phone number of a potential employer, but then it's up to you to make that call or to research more about that employer, to apply, to go to the interviews, to advocate for yourself. And again, if you feel like you've been doing all that work, I feel like this is a month in which you're going to start seeing the rewards of that, the fruits of that. But again, if there is anything that you know you can do for you to help you out, to help you, like maybe broaden your mind, or to help you branch out, if there's anything that you can do on your own time to help improve your own skills, to help improve your chances of getting a job, then you're being advised to focus on that and pursue that and work on that, because that will be a good way, a good use of your time, first of all, is how it's coming through. And it will also be a good way of entertaining you, entertaining your mind, stimulating you, and maintaining or keeping the momentum going, right? And others of you could be, if you have been like hard at work, you're feeling a little burned out, you are being advised to dedicate some time for relaxation, dedicate some time for what brings you joy, dedicate some time for entertainment possibly. Because I'm seeing something about like reading books, or just enjoying like creative pursuits, enjoying the arts. So yeah, if that's something that relaxes you, or that's something that helps you clear your mind or gets you in some kind of zone, helps you feel more connected to yourself, like creative writing, journaling. I thought of fan fiction, like writing fan fiction, or just doodling, or reading a book just for fun, just for pleasure, watching a movie, being out in nature, going out for walks, reciting poetry is what I heard, or gardening, whatever it may be. I'm just giving different examples. You're being encouraged to do that, because that's another way in which you also keep the momentum going. I feel like overall the message for you is, or the advice is, to not close yourself off. Broaden your mind. Use your resources. Entertain yourself in a way that enriches you, illuminates you, or fulfills you. Right? Because you have the option of doom scrolling or getting lost in an engaging story. You have the option of ruminating, or going out for a walk, going out for a run, or gardening, baking, cooking, or fixing something. So maybe this is about how you are utilizing your time. And if you feel like you're waiting for something, it's realizing that you don't have to place your life on hold. You don't have to sit by the sidelines while something is manifesting or unfolding for you. You can still enjoy life, be an active participant, focus on other things. If you're not creating, if you're not producing, then you can consume something of value. And it's interesting because if we reduce 37, we get 10, the number 10 again. So this is a month in which you can start new habits. You can redirect in a way, do things slightly differently, or build momentum. Because I mentioned Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle, some of you may literally be driven to clean, declutter, or organize. Also, this is the month in which it will be made explicitly clear what items need to go. Anything that is leaking, malfunctioning, or glitching will be made aware to you before it can cause damage or further damage. So this is a month meant for cleaning up, redirecting, setting things right, and starting or building momentum. But now I'm going to draw out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. For those of you who are concerned about resources, finances, this month there will be opportunities to make money. I do see money coming in, maybe unexpected money, but there definitely will be opportunities to make money, to earn money. But we have forgiveness with Scorpio and wisdom, and the A long exhale with the message let go of the air in your lungs and exhale fully. What else are you ready to let go of? Once you set forgiveness in motion, you can stop focusing on the projected outcome of a situation and allow it to take its course. Wow. feel the need to repeat that one more time. Once you set forgiveness in motion, you can stop focusing on the projected outcome of a situation and allow it to take its own course. It's interesting how in the illustration of the forgiveness card, we have this person blowing out air, and then, the card that fell out for you guys is it's blowing up a storm. So this month, you definitely may be deciding to let go of something, release something, or release certain, maybe unrealistic expectations or arbitrary expectations. That's what I heard. I thought of like deadlines, like time frames, like this should happen at this time, or this should have happened already. That is, if those kind of ideas have been placing unnecessary pressure on yourself, because forgiveness could be referring to self-forgiveness. Like you understanding that you've been doing your very best and that some things are out of your control. And so it's not all up to you. Yeah, there's something about releasing the past, like no longer ruminating about the past. Like, okay, the past is in the past. I behaved that way in the past. I thought that way in the past, but that's done and over with. Now I can start anew. Now I can approach my life differently. Now I can see things differently or experience things differently. And a long exhale also makes me think of like relaxation and releasing worries and concerns. I feel a lot of you are relaxing this month of March. It's like you're easing up, or you're relieving yourself of some kind of pressure. This month you are receiving confirmation that all is well, or that things are coming together, and that you don't have to hold your breath anymore. I feel like some of you have been waiting for to hit the fan. Like you've been expecting something to go down. And although there's changes occurring in your life, and there will be a little bit of like shakeups, the shakeups are not going to be as intense as you are imagining them or expecting for them to be. Like they are going to be impactful, they're going to have a positive impact, but they're not going to be as intense, as chaotic maybe, or as scary, more like as scary as you might be expecting for them to be if that is your case. Yeah, so if some of you have been fearing some kind of confrontation, or you've been fearing the aftermath of a decision that you are going to make, you're being let know once you make this decision, once you have this confrontation, you will be relieved to know that the aftermath wasn't that bad. It actually wasn't that bad, and that things got cleared up pretty quickly. Yeah, because I'm sensing relief, like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't that bad. It was okay. It went better than I expected, and it ended sooner than I expected. So that's good. I can breathe now. I can be at peace now. So yeah, there's this feeling of ease, of relaxation, and or finally being at peace or at ease. Okay, but let's see. Rainbows, winds, strong winds, storms could be of significance. The element of air. We do have the zodiac sign Libra, which is an air sign. So air signs, which are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius could be of significance. Horses, the year of the horse. We are in the year of the fire horse, 2026. So this year seems to be of significance. Or the year of the horse could be of significance. I spoke of angel numbers, repeating numbers, as well as angelic presence. Angels, archangels could be of significance as well. Archangel Gabriel, Michael, and Metatron could be of significance, as well as Archangel Chamuel, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Yeah, and the number 10, as well as the number 7 could be of significance. In your spread, we do have the numbers 41, 15, 7, 10, 79, and 37. And we also have the zodiac sign Scorpio. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website. And the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of March. And until the next moment, bye bye.